What's up everybody, I am Mongoose, you are awesome, and for once, I'm doing a serious video. I had 3 master ideas that I wanted to share. I tried to arrange them from what I think would be the easiest play to the most difficult. You'll also notice that I get much better at this style of video as it goes along. Enjoy! Introducing Zeros. Zeros is a ranged ADC whose attacks become stronger the closer he is to his target. His high mobility allows him to quickly close the distance, deal damage, and then disengage. However, his low health pool leaves him extremely susceptible to crowd control effects. Zeros and his sister Alice were traveling performers. He would awe crowds with his mastery of acrobatics and juggling, while his sister would bring men to tears with the beauty of her dance. They lived a carefree life on the road until one night, while entertaining at a tavern, a brawl broke out during the act. A wooden chair was thrown, narrowly missing the intended target, and instead crashing into the small of Alice's back. With a sickening crunch, their happy-go-lucky days were over. Alice would live, but her legs were dead. Determined to see his sister walk once more, Zero set off on a quest to find anyone with the ability to heal her spine. While he wouldn't mind putting a knife into the man that had struck his sister, his goal first and foremost was to see Alice dance again. Zeros' passive ability is In Your Face. His knives deal increasingly higher damage the closer he is to his target. His first ability is Juggle. Zeros tosses 3 knives into the air, jumping to them and flinging them in rapid succession towards his aim point. Knives thrown from Juggle have increased range and suffer no damage fall off. Juggle can be used to traverse vertical terrain. Next up is Blade Burst. Blade Burst allows Zeros to throw 5 knives out in an arc in front of him, with each knife dealing light damage. However, holding the ability will cause you to pause in place and narrow the arc, allowing you to direct all 5 knives to a single target at the cost of mobility. Finally, we have Dropkick. Execute a double-footed dropkick that pushes Zeros back while knocking foes back as well. Zeros' ultimate ability is Vault. Leap to a targeted area where a 5-second countdown begins. Reactivating Vault within this time frame will allow you to vault back to your previous location. If you get a killing blow before the countdown is up, the cooldown on Vault is reset.
I just want to see my sister dance again.
Now you may be wondering, where does he keep all of these knives? In his butt. Right there in his butthole. Introducing Brother Malink. Malink is a melee support that can quickly transition into a dangerous fighter. His positioning can be his greatest strength or his biggest downfall. I kinda borrowed heavily from the Warcraft Warrior kit for this dude, sorry about that. Malink was once the most feared mercenary to ever hold a weapon. He lived only to feel the thrill of battle. However, a drunken tavern brawl changed his life forever. In the heat of a fist fight, Malink hurled a chair at his opponent. The chair missed and instead crashed into the back of a young dancer. The courage that carried him into the teeth of countless battles failed him when he heard the sickening crunch of a broken spine and saw the dawning horror in the eyes of the girl's brother. He fled into the night. The very next day, he laid down his weapons for good and embraced a life in service to the church, where he began to master the healing arts. Now he wanders the countryside helping those he can, always searching for that dancing girl in the hopes that he can fix what he had once broken. Malink's passive ability is Empathy. 50% of any damage dealt to his closest ally within a 10-unit range is transferred to Malink instead. Malink's first ability is Intercept. Malink will charge to the aid of an ally, completely blocking the next instance of damage. Next up is Prayer. Malink falls to his knees in prayer, becoming immune to damage while increasing the health regen of anyone within a 30-unit range. This includes enemies. Finally, we have Denounce. Brother Malink chastises an enemy, causing them to cower in self-doubt for 3 seconds. Any damage received will cancel the effect. Malink's ultimate is The Old Thrill. For 6 seconds, Malink reverts back to his mercenary days, gaining 200% movement, armor, and attack damage. Intercept becomes Charge, allowing him to rush towards enemies. Prayer becomes Demoralizing Shout, lowering the basic attack damage of enemies within a 60-unit range. Denounce becomes Intimidate, causing a targeted enemy to flee in terror.
I'm willing to give my life to defend my allies. However, I'd rather take yours instead.
Introducing Alice. Alice is a ranged caster that hovers the line between life and death. For players that can learn to balance their resources, Alice can be a wickedly powerful mage. Okay, so blah blah blah, she got fucked up in a bar fight. We know this by now. With her brother Zeros off on a quest to find her a healer, Alice was able to concentrate on that which mattered most to her: revenge. She began to study the dark arts and commune with demons, the fell forces warping her mind further, stoking the flames of vengeance. She was able to master the powers of the underworld and eventually gained the ability to ride the chaotic energies wherever she wished. She wished to find a certain man. The demons had whispered a name in the dark, Malink. She had a name, she had a goal. She would take the head of the man who had taken her legs. Alice's passive ability is the Devil's Due. This is a two-part passive. One, since Alice has to use her spirit energy to move, her mobility is directly affected by her mana level. The lower the mana, the slower she goes. Two, instead of costing mana, Alice's spells cost health. The underworld doesn't give up its secrets without a blood sacrifice. Alice's first ability is Fell Eruption. This is an AoE that causes fell energies to burst from the ground. Her next ability is Flare. Alice sacrifices her health in order to fire a burst of spirit energy, propelling her through the air. Enemies caught in the flare are knocked up, and any projectiles within the area are knocked back. The last basic ability is Equivalent Exchange. Alice sacrifices some of her mana for an equal amount of health. Alice's ultimate ability is Succubus. Alice summons a succubus at a target location that latches onto the nearest enemy for 6 seconds and begins draining health and mana from the target. The percentage drained is increased with the level of the ability. The succubus can be targeted and destroyed by enemy players. When either the succubus timer expires, it dies, or the enemy target dies, all of the health and mana drained is immediately given to Alice.
I don't need my legs to kick your ass.
Hope you guys like my master ideas. I'd like to do these kind of like how I used to do Myths from Monolith and work with subs to create some new ones. So if you guys have an idea for a new master and you'd like me to make a video about it, email your idea to mongoosegg@gmail.com. Please include a picture of what you have in mind, along with the abilities and a bit of lore. Please bear in mind though that I'm a fucking landscaper. I can't just make awesome shit from scratch like Almighty Gur does. Gonna have to keep these on like a more humanoid level until I can get more betterer. Also, a few people suggested that I make a Discord channel. I have one. I've had one for months. I got my own mods and everything. It isn't as lively as it used to be, but I'll link it in the video description if you want to hop in there. Fair warning, I sometimes post funny and or gross pictures, mainly gross pictures from work. Okay, yeah, for now, this is Mongoose signing off. You guys have a good one.
Mangoose.